Yeah, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Lionel Messi and Inter Miami have booked a CONCACAF Champions Cup date with Jamaica's Caribbean Cup champions Cavalier. Inter Miami secured their spot into the round of 16 after a 3-1 second leg win over Sporting Kansas City Tuesday night to take the first round tie 4-1 on aggregate. The first leg will be played March 6 at the Chase Stadium in Lauderhill, Florida, while the second leg will be contested in Kingston a week later, the 13th of March, with the specific venue still to be confirmed. Now, with all the hype and fanfare around Lionel Messi playing in Jamaica, how ready will the management of Cavalier be to host one of the sport's biggest superstars, especially with plans afoot for work to be done on the National Stadium track? Now, amid reports circulating that the match will be played at Sabina Park, we have reached out to Chairman of Cavalier, Ryan Foster. He's unable to join us today, unfortunately, as he is currently engaged in a meeting with government officials to sort out logistics ahead of the game. And Mariah, you know, a lot is going on around this. As you pointed out in the opening of the show, tickets selling rapidly, as you would expect. I was on the road last night and individuals were speaking, and they were suggesting that, listen, I will take the risk of buying my ticket, and if Messi doesn't show up, then so be it. But I don't want to be in a position where he shows up and then I cannot get a ticket. And then there's the issue of where the match is going to be played, because, of course, it was originally to be held at the National Stadium. We know that there should be work taking place there on the stadium track. The Cavalier head coach, Rodolphe Speed, has said in recent days that, listen, we fully expect the match to go ahead at the National Stadium, but we've seen different things. We're seeing Stadium East, we're seeing Sabina Park, and at this stage we're not 100% sure. And with someone like Messi, you would expect that security is going to be at a different level. So there is so much for organizers, for Cavalier FC to work out for this tie and for specifically the second leg.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting ready to host like a World Cup or something. It feels like of that magnitude. And I just want to say, with so much happening in Jamaica when it comes to the infrastructure, it's a bit worrying, because we're right now at the stage where we're figuring out where we're hosting this relay. We're figuring out which football match is happening here. We have contracts with a big deal to have another event here. So right now, a lot is up in the air. I actually do not like that. I've seen different credible sources saying the match is happening here. Then I look at another credible source that says it's happening here. So I can't wait, Ricardo, where we get the opportunity to just sit and talk to the people involved and hear where this is happening. Now, you spoke about the tickets being sold out.
Well, not sold out, but they're going quickly. I don't think they're actually sold out.
Okay.
I did, again, see a report earlier today that suggested they were sold out, but I've since been informed that they have not been.
Okay.
And it's easy to check. Let's go on. You can go on and buy a ticket and see.
You already have my ticket, but you don't, so you should.
It's not Cristiano Ronaldo, you know. But anyhow, go on.
No, but great is great, and we're going to give credit there. We do have Juan Giarango with us. Do you want to bring him in?
Juan Giarango, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. How are you doing today, man?
Just as confused as you are over in studio, as a matter of fact. Because, I mean, everything you guys are saying is basically everything one is hearing over here. And the big, I mean, there's a bunch of question marks. We can talk about that in just a little bit.
Yeah, let's go right to the question marks one.
Well, the first one is here. I mean, there's a lot of speculation as to if Messi will play that second leg. I mean, there's a great deal of confidence, maybe some would say even overconfidence about how the first leg will go. And based on how the first leg goes is if he's going to go or not. Keep in mind that after this stretch of matches in the first part of March, there's a FIFA break, and Argentina are playing none other than Uruguay in Uruguay, and then they play Brazil in La Plata, if that's going to be the official match, that's going to, or the new stadium of the Argentine national team. And there's speculation that he might not play that return leg over in Jamaica. Now, I'm just saying it's speculation. People are saying it's kind of stuff that's being mentioned here and there. And that would be a huge question mark in terms of the fans that bought the tickets for the purpose of solely seeing Leo Messi.
Yeah, but I guess it could really come down to what happens in the first leg, because if Cavalier
Absolutely.
can keep it close, maybe park the bus, who knows, get a draw in that game, then it might force the hands of Inter Miami for them to bring their superstar here for that second leg.
That scenario, I mean, the way you're putting that scenario, it would most likely end up being that way. And, well, keep in mind that in CONCACAF, away goals still count. So if you want to really see them really scratch through, well, that would probably end up being it. And I'm talking about Inter Miami in terms of them getting through. And if it ends up being a draw in Jamaica, we'll end up seeing how that happens. But that seems a bit improbable. Although everyone in this end here in South Florida and as well in MLS know that, or have been saying, it should basically be a foregone conclusion that Inter Miami is going to pass through and now start facing some stiffer competition in the following round.
Yeah, and one, can you put into words for us just how significant you think this is for a Caribbean football club, an English-speaking Caribbean football club, to have this opportunity to play a club at the level of Inter Miami with a player at the level of Lionel Messi?
I think, I'm not sure if Lance is there, but he would probably end up being, or anyone that was able to experience that, of the days when the Brazilian national team would go to Jamaica, would go to the Caribbean and play against local and national teams from that area. It's something along those lines, I guess you would say, within that context of having a Messi going into that region and doing, and playing in a match like that. That's why many start to look, and many are starting to keep a watchful eye in terms of the logistics going on there. Look, I spoke to people as soon as Inter Miami qualify or officially punched their ticket to the next round. I know about 10, 15 Argentine journalists that are going to be looking for accreditation to be in Jamaica for the return leg. So there's a lot of that, the international coverage that you're probably going to be getting. It's maybe I should use another parallel, which would be more relevant. It would be like as if Usain Bolt was racing in an event in Jamaica or in the Caribbean, and many of the other journalists and media outlets bringing in their journalists and their talent to be able to cover that event.
Yeah, very important point you made there, Juan. And, one of the things I'm eager to ask you is about the quality of Cavalier as they go up against this Inter Miami squad that not only has Lionel Messi, but also a Luis Suarez who, has his own reputation. He's really good at what he does also, and we know the relationship between Suarez and Lionel Messi. What are your thoughts on this Cavalier team that, they held their own in the Caribbean Cup? We know when we look at the numbers, Shaquille Stein, the top goal scorer, a lot of players, really stepping up. I mean, they are the champions of that competition. What do you think about Cavalier's quality and how they match up against an Inter Miami?
In terms of pace, maybe they could start creating some opportunities. That they can't be a team that parks the bus. Maybe you'll have to have a nearly perfect and flawless execution in terms of how you defend and how you counterattack a team that Inter Miami is. I mean, Inter Miami, in terms of how they're built defensively, well, they're a very top-heavy team. And what I'm saying is that they do have a lot of defensive liabilities that can be exploited. Now, can Cavalier do that throughout a two-legged series? That's the biggest question of it all. And basically, let's even be more honest. Can they end up doing it in the first leg against Inter Miami in Fort Lauderdale? That's going to be the big question mark, because at the end of the day, if Inter Miami ends up, winning big, let's say if they do, which many here in this part of the world think 6, 7, maybe even 8, maybe even 9-0. Some have been saying that. And that could be a possibility. But if they end up winning by a significant amount, you might end up seeing some of the younger players. And some of the younger players end up having some interesting prospects as well for Inter Miami. It's not just Messi and Suarez and, of course, Jordi Alba and maybe even Sergio Busquets.
Yeah, and we speak about the reception that Lionel Messi will get if he comes to the Caribbean, Jamaica, of course. But what will it be like in Florida? Because, Cavalier is coming to Florida. They're playing the same Lionel Messi. What is the buzz like back in the U.S.?
None.
Really?
None. I mean, There is some. There were fans last night at Chase Stadium when they played Sporting Kansas City, but there wasn't that buzz that you had a year and a half ago. There wasn't the same fervor for it. Were people watching? Were people keep? Yeah, they were, but not as much, and not as much of an international. Whoa, Messi did this or Messi did that. Outside of what was on social media, there wasn't this anticipation of him stepping onto the pitch like there was when he first arrived, when he played in Champions League last year. Maybe that's worn off a little bit, but maybe that's also because it's still the beginning of the season and things are just getting started. Maybe that is also another part of it. In terms of what will happen. Now, I will give you this. Chase Stadium is in an area that's not that far from a cricket ground. And why do I say cricket ground? Because it has one of the highest concentration of Caribbean population in this area. So it could attract, and if it's sold properly, many of those fans could be able to go and see Leo Messi here. And that might be something that does stir something. But again, it all depends on how that match is sold.
Yeah, and one, I just wonder if you're hearing anything on the ground from your side. Because as you know at this stage, still concerns over where the match, that second leg, will actually be played, whether it will be at the National Stadium in Kingston, whether it be at the National Stadium Eastfield, whether it will be at Sabina Park, as you just spoke about, cricket grounds, and whether where the match will be played will impact or could impact whether Messi comes or not.
I mean, that hasn't been talked about just yet. I mean, it's still a significant ways away, but what one is, I mean, when I came on, or right before I came on, I heard you guys talking about where is the match going to be played. Well, that was basically what I had heard. I spoke to the producers before, and it was the same thing. They're saying, well, it's the national. Wait, I thought it was because I'd read it in another article in another publication in Jamaica that it was going to be at Sabina Park, and thus the confusion. So like I said at the beginning, I'm just as confused as you are, and maybe it'll take a couple of days to figure it out. Now, I feel sorry for the fans that have been buying tickets, because based on how they are sitting in one stadium, if it's at another stadium, it's going to be a completely different look. So in that aspect, I do feel bad for the fans that are buying tickets right now, although I hope they do end up getting them if Messi does come to town. Yeah,
I don't think it will matter once Lionel Messi is here. By the way, quick question, one, you spoke about the number of media personnel that will be in Jamaica, likely to be in Jamaica for that game. Will you be here? It's been a while, man.
Tell Mariah to hook something up. She's the one that's in charge over there.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Sorted.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to come. I mean, that depends. I mean,
Mariah can get you a ticket. And I'm not talking the plane ticket.
Well, hopefully not a parking ticket. That's the only thing. But anyway, I would love to be there. If it does happen, I'll be in studio. We'll see we'll see what goes on.
Well, keep us posted, because we'd love to have you.
Sure.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, talk to you soon.
Right.
Thank you. Thanks. You know what I love about everybody that talks to us? They think I can just make things happen. Even at the office. Yeah. I must be the impossible dream.
No, with you, it's not impossible.
No, I mean, yeah, but not all the things they request from me. Because I walk around the office and they're like, hey, Mariah, I need a raise. And I'm like, me?
Yes, you can't get them a raise?
Anyways,
I was going to come to you and ask.
I really need to get a break, a water break, yeah? Break time, all these demands.